So today's video is another video in the Hachette Disney crochet series where we're making the Disney squares to make our full-size blanket. We're on to issue of the magazine, issue number 35, and issue 35 is the red apple square, so we're making this square just here. I've had a look through the instructions and we're actually making the full-size square, and then afterwards we will be making the apple and then appliquing it or sewing it onto the square. So for this square we need 5 different colour yarns. As you can see, I have caked most of my yarns. Anyone that doesn't know, when you have yarn and it's in this shape, it is called a cake. I presume it's just because of the shape. Not 100% sure why, but it must be something to do with the shape, surely. I got a yarn winder for Christmas. It was one of the things I asked for. It was probably my most exciting present that I got. I was very happy, and I literally spent all of Boxing Day sort of caking all of my yarns. So like I've joined all of my whites together so you can see how much white we've actually got left. Is quite incredible. I think we might end up having a lot left over at the end of the project, but we shall see as we go, and then maybe I might even have enough left to do another blanket. Who knows? So anyway, carrying on, we've got 5 different colour yarns for this square. We've got the white just here, we've got the petal, we've got bright red, we've got sage, and then I've also got a very small amount of the fudge left. I believe this is what we use to do Aladdin's face. We've only got a little bit of that on left because we only had the 10-gram ball to begin with, but that's absolutely fine because I think if we look at the square we only need a small amount for the stem of that apple anyway, so it shouldn't cause any issues because I think this is absolutely plenty for the amount that we need. So let's get into it. We need to start off with the petal. And we're using our 4mm hook, as we always do, and start off with a slip knot on your hook. So as I said, we're starting off with a slip knot on our hook, and once we've got that slip knot on there, we want to chain 4. So bring your yarn around the back, over your hook, and then pull it through the loop for your first chain. There's 2, 3, and 4. And we now need to go into our first chain that we made and to do a slip stitch. So count back 4. We've done this so many times now, I'm sure you know what you're doing. We're going into the first stitch that we made, pulling up a loop and pulling that one straight through, and we've created a circle like we've done so many times now. So for round 1 we need to chain 3. So there's 1, 2 and 3. We then need to do 2 trebles into the ring. So for our treble we're yarning over first. Pull either sides of your ring apart to find the centre and go in through the middle. Pull up a loop so you've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 for your first treble. We need to repeat that again. So yarn over, into your centre of your circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Once you've done your 2 trebles into the ring, you need to chain 2. So 1 and 2, and then we want to do another 3 trebles into the ring. So yarn over, into your centre, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, there's 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, there's 2 trebles, pull through 2, pull through 2, and I've done my 3 trebles. Chain 2, 1 and 2, another 3 trebles into the centre. There's 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, another 3 trebles into the centre. 1, 2 and 3. So we should have done 2 chains and 3 trebles into the ring 3 times. So at the start we did the 2 trebles into the ring, and then we did 2 chains, 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles. Well, now we just need to chain 1. And we're going to finish with a double crochet into our 3rd chain. So remember those stitches there that we did at the beginning were our 3 chains that we started the round off with. So you want to count up 3, and then we're going in through that one, pulling up a loop, yarn over and pull through both for your double crochet. Onto round 2, we're chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3. We then want to do 1 treble into the corner space. So yarn over, into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. We're then continuing with the treble stitch. So yarn over, and we need to do 3 before the next corner. So we're going into the tops of the stitches that we made in the last round. So there's 1 treble, yarn over, into your next stitch, there's 2, yarn over into your next stitch, and we've done 3, and I'm at my first corner space. Into the corners we're doing 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles. So yarn over into your corner, and we're continuing with that same stitch. There's 1 treble, 2 treble, 2 chains and 2 more trebles. There's 1 and 2. I'll carry on and do one more side. So it's 3 trebles along, 1, 2 and 3, and the same in the corner. It's 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles. So into the corner, pull through 2, pull through 2, there's 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, there's my second treble, chain 2, and then 2 more trebles into that space. There's 1 and 2. So carry that along for the next 2 sides. 3 trebles into the tops of the stitches, 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles into the corner, and when you get to your last corner space I'll meet you there and continue to let you know what you need to do. So I'm at the corner space. You want to do 2 trebles into the corner space, 1 and 2. We're then doing 1 chain, and again we want to finish off with a double crochet into the 3rd chain. So you've got your 3 chains there, we're going into the 3rd, pulling through a loop, yarn over and pull through both. We're now moving on to round 3. For round 3 we want to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. We then want to do 1 treble into the corner space. So yarn over, pull those apart if you're having trouble seeing your corner space and you want to go into the gap in between. And we now want to do a treble into each of the stitches along. I'm not going to tell you exactly how many there should be. Obviously I can't give away the full pattern due to copyright, but I will do a few with you. So it's exactly the same as the last round. So we're just doing the treble stitches into the tops of the treble stitches from the last round. And I will do a few with you, like I just said. and I will meet you at the corner to show you what you need to do in the corner. So I'm at the corner and we need to repeat exactly what we did in the last round. So we're doing 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles. So into my corner space, pull through 2 for my first treble. There's my second treble, chain 1 and chain 2, and then 2 more trebles into the corner space. Carry on with that pattern for the rest of the sides. It will tell you exactly how many trebles you need to go along under round 3, and then into the corners it's 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles, and I'll meet you at the final corner for this round. I've gone all the way around for round 3. For the final step, we want to do 2 trebles into the corner space just here. So there's 1 treble, 2 treble, we're chaining 1, and then just as with the other few rounds, we're joining with a double crochet into our 3rd chain that we did at the beginning of the round. And now we can move on to round 4. And this one's different from the last few rounds that we have done. So we're chaining 1, and then into our space, our corner from the last round, we want to do a double crochet. So pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. We then want to do a double crochet into each of the 11 trebles we did from the last round. So I'm going into the top of the first one, and there's 1, into my second, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So into the corner space, we're doing 1 double crochet, 2 chains, 1 double crochet. So I'll go into my space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops, chain 2, and then it's 1 more double crochet into the corner. I'm then going to double crochet across the 11 trebles from our last round. In my corners, I am doing 1 double crochet, 2 chains, 1 double crochet. I'll meet you at the end of the round. So at our last corner of round 4, we want to do 1 double crochet into the corner space. We then want to chain 1. And we're finishing off with a slip stitch into our first double crochet. So that is our first stitch just there, that first V that we did at the start. So we can just go into that one, pull up a loop, and pull that one straight through our other loop to finish off round 4. For round 5, we're chaining 2, and then we're going back to our treble stitches. So yarn over. Now we're not going into this hole here because that was the round before the last one for our corner space. You will have a very small hole just above it from where we did the smaller double crochet stitches in the last round. So we're going into there, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling through 2 and pulling through 2 again. This round's different again, which is round 5. So after we've done our treble into our corner space, we want to chain 1. We're then skipping a stitch and we're trebling 2 together into the stitch afterwards. So yarn over. We don't want to go into the next stitch, the next V just here. We're going to go into the one after. So go into that one and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2. We're then yarning over again, but we're then going back into the stitch and pulling up another loop. So we've got 4 on our hook, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we're yarning over and pulling through all 3 for our treble 2 together. We're then chaining 1, and again we're skipping the next stitch and going into the one after, and we're just repeating this along of the chain 1, treble 2 together, skip a stitch, etc. So yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and back into your stitch, pull up a loop so you've got 4 on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, skip a stitch into your next, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, back into the stitch, pull up a loop so you've got 4 loops, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all 3, chain 1. So yarn over, skip a stitch and into the one after, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into your same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 1, skip a stitch into the one after, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into your same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 1, skip a stitch into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all 3. So you should have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 treble 2 togethers. So after your 6th treble 2 together, we want to chain 1, and then into your, again, it's a small corner space. It's not this big gap from the round before the last round. It is this small space. If I put my hook through it, it is this one just here that we're using. Into that corner, we're doing treble 2 together, 2 chains, treble 2 together, 2 chains, treble 2 together. So here we go. Yarn over into the corner space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into your space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 3, chain 2, yarn over, this is our 2nd treble 2 together, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over into your space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, chain 2, and our last treble 2 together, into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into your space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 3, and you've completed your corner. Once you've done your corner, we are repeating what we've done from the start of the last round. So you would chain 1, skip a stitch into the one after. Oh, it would help if I yarned over first, wouldn't it? Because we're carrying on with the treble 2 togethers and going along. So you need 6 treble 2 togethers, and then in the corners it's treble 2 together, 2 chains, treble 2 together, 2 chains, treble 2 together. I'll meet you at the end of the round. I've gone all the way around for round 5. I've done my 6th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I've done 6 treble 2 togethers. And I've also done 1 chain after that last treble 2 together. So from here, we want to skip the last double crochet, and we're going to be going into the corner space with treble 2 together, chain 2 twice. So yarn over, and remember we're going into that small space just there. Pick up the loop, pull through 2, yarn over into your corner space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 3, chain 2, another treble 2 together into that corner space, pull through 3 and then chain 2 again. We then want to join with a slip stitch into our first treble. So we're ignoring the chain stitches we did at the beginning of that round, and we're going into our first treble, which is the one directly beside it, which is just in here. So I say that it's just in here, but I've gone into the wrong place. There we go. Go in through that one and do a slip stitch. That's your end of round 5. For round 6, we want to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3, and then we want to do 2 trebles into the corner space at the base of the chain, because obviously we've got a corner space here and we've got a corner space here, but we want to go into the top one. So yarn over into your corner space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over again into your corner space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. We're then, for this round, going to be doing 2 trebles into each of the next 7 one chain spaces. Now by one chain spaces, they mean the gaps in between the treble 2 togethers that we did from the last round, because obviously we did treble 2 together and then followed by one chain. So this is our one chain space. So if we yarn over and we go into the first one chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we've done 1, and then our second into that space like so. We're then going to continue that along with doing 2 trebles into each of the spaces. So there's 1 and 2 into the next space. There's 1 and 2, and we're not doing any chain spaces between any of these stitches. It is purely just 2 trebles into each of the spaces below. No chains between these stitches at all. I'm just trying to do this quickly and get to the end of the row so I can show you what to do for the corner, because it's quite a simple row, so I don't suppose you need to see me doing too much of this one. So we should have done 2 trebles 7 times, so those don't count, those first, because that was our corner space. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and we're now at our first corner. So for the corner, if you remember, we did treble 2 together, 2 chains, treble 2 together, 2 chains, treble 2 together. So we've got essentially 2 corner spaces to work for this round. So what we need to do is 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles. So we're going to be doing 3 trebles into this space, chain 2, and then 3 trebles into the next space for your corner. So I'm going to yarn over and into this space, the first corner space. There's 1 treble, there's 2 and 3. I'm then chaining 2, and then I'm going to the next part of my corner space and I'm doing 1 treble, 2 treble and 3 treble. I'll do one more side with you. So we want 7 lots of 2 trebles. So into your first space, there's 1 and 2, into my next space, There's 1 and 2 into my next space, 1 and 2 into my next, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, there's 1 and 2, and we've done, remember to ignore your corners where you've done your 3 trebles there, those ones don't count. You want to make sure that you've got 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got one more set to do here. So there's 1 and 2, and now I'm at the corner. You can see those 2 corner gaps there. So it's 3 trebles into the first space. There's 1, 2 and 3. We're then chaining 2, 1 and 2, and then another 3 trebles into the next space. 1, 2 and 3. So if you continue with that along, remember it's 2 trebles into each of the 1 chain spaces, and then once you get to your corner, it's 3 trebles in the first space, 2 chains, and then followed by another 3 trebles in the next space, and I will meet you at the end of the round. So for round 6, I've just done my 7 2 trebles into the corner spaces. Sorry, I've just done my 7 2 trebles into the 1 chain spaces, and now I'm at the corner space. So into that first corner space we want to do 3 trebles. So there's 1, 2 and 3. We're then chaining 1, and we then want to join with a double crochet into our 3rd chain. So your chains are here at the start of the round, so just go in through that one, pull up a loop, pull that one straight through for your slip stitch. We're now on to the last round, which is round 7, and this is the last round in the petal before we add our white border. So for the start of round 7 we want to chain 2, 2, and then we want to do a half treble into each of the next 20 stitches from the last round. So yarn over, and I'll go into my first stitch, pull up a loop, so I've got 3 on my hook. I'm yarning over and pulling through all 3. Yarn over into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and we've done 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, oh I just pulled that one a bit, 19 and 20, and we're now at our corner space. Into the corner we need to do 1 half treble, 2 chains, 1 half treble. So there's 1, 2 chains, and then one more half treble. We're then going to continue with the same thing along, so that's one half treble into each of the next 20 stitches, and in your corners you're doing one half treble, 2 chains, one half treble. I'll meet you at the end of the round. So our final corner of round 7, you want to do one half treble into the corner space, so yarn over and into your space and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We're then chaining 2, and then we want to do a slip stitch into our second chain. So we've got 2 chains just here from the start of the round. We're going into the second one and pulling that one straight through. And I can actually extend that one because we need to fasten that one off. There's our square complete, and we're going to be moving on to the white now to complete our border. So you can fasten off the petal, you can join yarn B, the white, to any of your corner spaces, and we will go ahead and make the border. I've joined my white to any of my corner spaces, doesn't matter which one. I'm going to stick to the pattern in the magazine for this border. I know in some of the other squares I've changed it up because of my square size, but I do feel that this is a pretty average size square. It's not big, it's not small, so I'm going to go with what they've done in the magazine because we don't need to make the square bigger or smaller. So we're starting off with a chaining 2, and then we want to do a half treble into each of the next 10 stitches. So we're yarning over and doing the same stitch as the last round. So into our first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 3, and there's my first half treble, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We then want to do 2 half trebles into the next stitch. So yarn over into your next stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3. We're then going to do another half treble into the same stitch. So yarn over into that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 3. So we've done 10 half trebles, 2 in the next. We now need to do 11 half trebles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and we're at our first corner space. Into the corner we're doing 1 half treble, 2 chains, 1 half treble. So into my corner, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 2, and 1 more half treble into that space. So the border, 10 half trebles, 2 half trebles in your next stitch, 11 half trebles. The corner, 1 half treble, 2 chains, 1 half treble. Go all the way around and I'll meet you at the end. So, final corner of the final round. I've just done my last 11 half trebles in the white, and now in the corner space I want to do 1 half treble. I'm then chaining 2, 1 and 2, and we then want to join with a slip stitch into our second chain. So we should have 2 chains just here. I'm going into my second one, pulling up a loop, pulling that one through, and there is our square complete with our border added. I think that one was quite alright. Probably the tricky round was the treble 2 togethers that we did. Got a bit complicated there, but apart from that, I think that was quite a simple one to do, and plus side, no colour changes as of yet. So hardly any rounds to weave in. I did mean to see ends there, of course, not rounds. Sorry. So we can fasten this one off. I'm just going to stop talking at this point because apparently my brain just doesn't control my mouth. Pull that one through and to fasten it off. It doesn't want to come through. Oh gosh, what have I done? Sorry, I had to stop filming that one there because for some reason when I was tying my ends off, my yarn broke and now I'm left with a really short end to thread in, but it's fine. I'm sure I will manage. I've always got my like special glue just to glue it down, haven't I? So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So now we need to make our apple. So we want, as always, our 4mm hook, and we're starting off with the bright red, this one just here, and we're going to be making a magic ring. So let's get this magic ring out of the way, I guess, because you know how much I hate filming it because it's so odd having to do it and twist your hands in certain ways when it's on camera. Anyway, let's go for it. So I've got the end of my yarn in my right hand and the length going up to the working yarn in my left. I want to put that end of my yarn, if you're right-handed this is, by the way, obviously I can't do it left-handed, put it over your 2 fingers on your left hand and pinch with your thumb. The yarn then goes around the back and around the front again where your thumb is, and then turn your hand and it should look like this. And we then want to move that yarn over so we're in a cross, and we're going to put our ring finger over it to hold it in place so it looks like this. Then with our hook, I'm going under the top right, picking up the top left. You see I'm just catching it with my hook there, and I want to pull that through like this. I'm then going to turn my hook towards me and you'll end up with it looking like that on your hook. I'm then going to pick up the top left again. So I'm moving that finger there, the ring finger, and then I'm picking that one up and pulling it through. I can then take my fingers out because we've got our ring. Now, as always, I'm going to pull the non-working yarn out the centre of the ring because otherwise it just gets twisted up. So there's our magic ring. So once we've got our magic ring, we're going to chain 1. We then want to do 8 double crochets into the ring. So we're going to go into the ring and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both, and we've done 1 double crochet. Back into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Once you've done your 8 double crochets, you need to pull the ring tight to close it. So it's the non-working tail that we want to pull, and you want to do it slowly as well because otherwise the stitches can sort of twist. So there we go. Now this one will keep coming undone as we go, which I've told in the past, but it doesn't matter because you can just keep pulling on it as we go. It's not an issue. If you want to know which one your first stitch is, I would highly recommend putting in a stitch marker into this first stitch just here. You can see you've got your gap and then you've got your V here. I'm not going to be doing that because I find they get in the way and I can count my stitches to know where I need to be. But if you do feel that you're not 100% sure of where your first stitch is and you're not going to remember it each round, then I would suggest putting a stitch marker into that first stitch. So for the next step, we're going to be doing 2 double crochets in each stitch. We know that we have got 8 stitches so far, and putting 2 in each obviously doubles the amount that we're going to have. So we're going to have 16 stitches by the end. So that's how I know when I finish my round, because I'll count to 16 stitches. So I'm going in to my first stitch, pulling up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, and there's 1. Remember, back into the same stitch because we're doing 2 in each, and there's 2. Next stitch, 3 and 4. Next stitch, 5, 6. Next stitch, 7, 8. Next stitch, 9, 10. Next stitch, 11 and 12. Next stitch, 13, 14, and my next stitch, 15 and 16. And I now know that I've done all of the stitches for that round. For round 3 of the apple, we want to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch and then 1 double crochet in the stitch after, and then repeat that going round. And at the end of the round, we will have a total of 24 stitches. So into my first stitch, I'm doing 2 double crochets. There's 1 and 2, and then I'm going to do a single one into my next stitch. That's my third. 2 in the next, 4 and 5, 1 in the next, 6, 2 in the next, 7, 8, 1 in the next, 9, 2 in the next, 11, 10, 11, sorry, 1 in the next is 12, so we're halfway. 2 in the next, 13 and 14, 1 in the next, 15, 16 and 17 in the next stitch, 18 in the one after, and then 19 and 20 in the next stitch, and 21, and then 2 in the next, 22, 23, and a single one in the last is 24, which takes us to the end of round 3. For round 4, we're going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch around, which will give us 24 stitches. So into your first stitch, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And that is the end of round 4. Round 5 is a bit different. There's a few different stitches to do here. So our first stitch is a slip stitch. So insert your hook, pull up a loop and pull straight through. We're then going to do a double crochet into the next stitch. So in, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both. We're then going to do 2 half trebles into the next double crochet stitch that we did in the last round. So yarn over into your next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. Another one into the same stitch, so yarn over into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. We're then going to do 2 trebles into each of the next 3 stitches. So yarn over into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And we've done 1 into the same stitch. We're doing another treble. Repeat the same into the next stitch. We want another 2 trebles. There's 1 and 2, and then we want another 2 into the next stitch as well. There's 1 and 2. So you should have done 6 trebles across 3 stitches. 2 half trebles into the next stitch, so yarn over into your stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over into your same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. Then we need to do a double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. So into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 half trebles into the next stitch, so yarn over into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3, and another one of those into the same stitch. 1 slip stitch into the next stitch, so pull up a loop and pull it straight through. 2 half trebles into your next stitch, so yarn over into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3, yarn over into your same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3. 1 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, so into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both. There's 1, 2, 3 and 4. 2 half trebles into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over into the same stitch, yarn over and pull through all 3. We then want to again do 2 trebles into each of the next 3 stitches, so yarn over into your next stitch, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and we've done 1 treble. We now want to do another one into the same stitch. Into our next stitch we want to do another 2 trebles. There's 1, and into the same stitch there's 2, and now we want to do another 2 into the next stitch. There's 1 and 2. 2 half trebles into your next stitch. There's 1 and 2, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then we're finishing off with a slip stitch into that first slip stitch, which is the one right here, which is the one that we did at the beginning. So we're going into that one, pulling through and pulling through again, and we have got our apple shape. I'm just going to pull the center a bit tighter, and we can now fasten that one off. Now moving on to the fudge coloured yarn, I have made a slip knot. I'm going to make that a bit shorter because I think the end's a bit long. So I've made a slip knot, putting that one on my hook, and I need to chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once I've done that, I want to do a treble in the 4th chain from the hook. So yarn over and count back 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going into this one here, and I'm then pulling up a loop. So I've got 3 on my hook, I'm yarning over, pulling through 2, yarning over and pulling through 2 again. I then want to do a double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. So into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both, and repeat the same over the next 3 stitches, and one more, and that is our stalk complete. So you can fasten that one off as well. The last colour we're going to use is the sage to make a leaf. So I've made a slip knot, and I'm then going to chain 9. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You want to do a double crochet into the 2nd chain from the hook. So there's our first. We want to go in the one after. So pull through, yarn over and pull through both. I then want to do a half treble into the next chain. So I'm going to yarn over into my next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. I then want to do a treble into the next, so yarn over into your next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. I'm going to do a double treble into each of the next 2 stitches. So yarn over twice into your next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Repeat the same for the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. I want to do a treble into the next stitch, so yarn over into my next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. A half treble into the next, so yarn over into your next, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 stitches. I then want to do a slip stitch into the final stitch that we've got there. So into that one, pull up a loop, pull that one straight through, and then we have got our leaf shape, so you can go ahead and fasten that one off as well. So the leaf was the last part of the crochet that we needed to do. So I've got my square here, and then I'm just going to lay all the parts on it until it looks somewhat like the square. I'm just going to try and line everything up so it looks like the square that we've got in the magazine. So there's the apple, and then we'll put the leaf on like so, and put the stem on as well. So we've done a lot of appliquing now, a lot of sewing items onto our squares. I'm not going to go through that in this video purely because it does take some time to do. It's quite fiddly. So I'm going to go ahead and sew those on. I'll tuck all my ends in as well, and I will come back and show you any further parts that we have once I've done so. So here is my square. Now everything has been sewn down. I've sewn down the apple, the leaf and the stalk. We've only got one more thing left to do, and that is just to cut off a small piece of white and just to join it onto our needle, because we're going to add a shine to the apple. So they say to go through round 4, so it's the last kind of circular curve you can see there just before we've added the taller stitches there of round 5. So we just want to follow this line. So I'm going to go up through the back, just go up through here. Remember to leave enough at the back so you've got enough of a tail to sew in. And then just go over down past a few stitches, sort of 2 or 3 stitches wide, and you just want it to look something like that. And I'm then going to go back up the first stitch that we did, and then just below it, so it's 2 pieces of yarn wide, and it looks like something like that. So I'm going to fasten that one off, and there is your red apple square fully complete from issue 35. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I had good fun making this one. It was quite nice to do an applique square where it was simple rather than the like complicated character faces like they are. So if you've enjoyed this video, as I always say, please leave a comment below to tell me if you liked it, you didn't like it, you know, if you had any issues. And of course, if you do have any problems with anything in this video, just leave a comment below and I will happily help you out in any way that I can. Leave a like if you could, because it just helps me out with my channel, basically. It's really kind of you if you can do that. And just remember to hit the subscribe button if you want a notification for when the next video gets posted. So that all being said, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I shall see you in the next video. See you then.